Hey everybody, this is Richard, and today I'll be doing a review of the trades that occurred on Friday on both Paladin and Noble. So for you've seen these videos, you should be pretty familiar with how this works. This is the TradeStation platform. The bottom left is the Emerald day trade long and short algorithm. The top left is the Momentum S&P algorithm, which is traded on Paladin. The top right is the options algorithm, which is traded on both Noble and Paladin. And then the bottom right is the day trade long. Now, Friday started off with a gap higher, and the market just kind of drifted higher, and eventually we got into this Emerald day trade long, and you'll see it occur right here. And so notice that our fill was at about 4015.25, and as the day went on, so we got into this trade about 30 minutes after equities had opened. And originally the trade was down. You can see the market was selling off here, but then it pretty quickly rebounded and went higher again. But it was a little nerve-wracking just to see this go down so quickly after the market had looked so strong. But this is common. When these day trades occur, a lot of times we'll be down a bit, obviously, before they go higher. Now, we tend to hold for the majority of the day, and so we do use a bigger stop on these. But fortunately, this trade was not stopped out, and eventually it traded a bit higher and got into the green again. And again, I'll be fast forwarding this quite a bit, but when you, and so up here now what you see is that eventually the options algorithm triggered, the options algorithm, and so what we did is we ended up selling the 4020 put and buying the 4000 put. And so what that does is it creates a 20-point put spread. And so what we want is the market to close above 4020 for that to be fully profitable. And I'll show you a table that shows all these trades along with the ones that we had on the 2nd of March and the 1st. But what you'll see is that as time went on, the day trade algorithm became very profitable. And so, you know, right here, it's already up about $200 and actually hits around 300. But pretty quickly, you'll see some more options trades trigger as well. And so what happens is these trades all just start stacking on top of each other. And so let's look at the other options trade now. Okay, so now the futures trade is back to around break even. It's kind of just hovering around where we entered. But you will see that we did get into another option trade. You see it right here where we sold the 4015 and bought the 39.95. So now we're in two puts. We were in one where we want the S&P to close above 4020, and the second one that we just got into, we want it to close above 4015. The short strike is a little bit lower on the second one, and that's just because that one was triggered at a lower price, because we always do the one that's at the money. But now what you see is we got into a third option trade. So now we sold the 4020 and we bought the 4000. So this is the third option trade, and this one is only taken on Paladin, where the first two were taken on Noble. And when that one triggers, fortunately the S&P was rallying a bit more, and so now that this futures algo is up about $300. And so we're in the futures, that's the first trade, and then we're also in 3 option trades right now. And now's probably a good time for me to do the risk disclosure. So just remember that past performance is not indicative of future performance. Trading futures and options involves substantial risk of loss. It's not appropriate for all investors. And finally, I'm not a CTA. I'm what's called a third-party developer. We offer the algorithms to be traded under a letter of direction by NFA-registered auto execution brokers. All right, so now we got into another 2 option trades. So at this point, we're in a total of 5. And again, they just kind of stack on top of each other. This one, we got into 2 at the same time, and they both sold the 4020 and bought the 39.95. And at this point, the S&P is still around the same level that it was before, but it eventually rallies and breaks out of the range like you see right here. And that's when it actually gets into a 6th option trade, and that's what you see this one here. We sold the 4025 and bought the 4000. So now Paladin is in 6 of these, Noble's in 2 of them, and the S&P is up about $700 on that futures trade. And that's per unit traded. Remember that Noble trades in $40,000 increments and Paladin on $60,000 increments. So that's I'll fast forward the video there now so that you can see the other option trades that occur, because we do get into a couple more, and here they are. And so you see that we get into the 7th option, and that one we're selling the 4030, buying the 4005. And then as the market kind of pops out of the range again, we get into this last option trade, the 8th one, which we sold the 40.30 and bought the 4005 put. Now, as that is occurring, the market's hitting new highs, and the futures algorithm finally does break out again of the range it was in. Now it's up about $1,000, and you see that over here on the matrix. Now remember that these are traded by auto execution brokers, so you don't need to understand any of this. What happens is when you sign up, they have you sign a letter of direction, and then they just auto execute these trades for you. So the broker has these the algorithms loaded on their server, and so they're able to see the trades, and then they place them, and then you get statements, and you can follow along in the Gain iBroker app as well. So I'll go ahead and fast forward the video to a much faster speed so that we can see how the day ends. And so let me go ahead and do that. Now, as I was recording this, it did break out of the range it was in, and so the video didn't really capture the top parts here. But you can see it in the bottom right chart. You can see how the S&P continues to trade. But eventually the day ends, and this ends up being a very profitable day for us. We do really well on the futures trade, up about roughly 1,700. And then on the options trade, all 8 options were 100% profitable. And so this was as good of a day as we can get. I mean, all 8 options traded. They all were profitable, and then the futures trade had a really nice futures trade. Now, the only thing that would have made this a little bit better is if we would have been also in the day trade long, which is the bottom right algorithm. And a lot of times we will get into both that one and the Emerald day trade long. The difference is the one on the bottom right is really looking for a gap up along with some strength, and it requires it to close sort of out of a specific range that it's looking at, and it just didn't hit it on today, and so we didn't get into both of them. But that's really the main thing I wanted to show you as far as the trades go. Now I'd like to just show you a summary of what we've done in March so far. Now, one thing I wanted to try for the month of March was to keep a running table like this going, so that you can see how each strategy contributes to the system. Now remember, there's 3 systems that are traded. There's Geronimo, Noble, and Paladin. That's over here. And so all this is showing is just the running total of all the different algorithms that are traded on it. Now Geronimo is one that didn't have any trades today, and that one trades the Geronimo options, which is this column here, the day trade short, which is that one here, and the day trade long. And again, in March, it just hasn't had any trades yet, and it's the algorithm that trades the least amount. It averages about 2 trades per week. Now Noble is this one here, and what it trades is the Emerald, the day trade long, the Emerald short, the Emerald long, and then option 1 and option 2. And so that's the first 5 algorithms that you see here. Those are all traded in Noble, and so if you look here, that's just a total of all those. Now Paladin is the one that trades 12 systems, or 12 algorithms. It trades basically all of these up here except for the last 2, and so that's a total of 12 different strategies that are traded in Paladin. And you can see that the total for Paladin is all of those combined. So let's look at it a little bit closer. So let's start with the first trade that we had, which was on the 2nd of March. And I didn't show you this. This is a trade that we didn't go over, but I just want to show you so that you can see the complete month so far. But this was a gain of $311 on option 1, and option 2 also had a gain of $311. Now if we go back over here to the charts, you'll actually see that trade right here. And so this was the 2nd of March, and the market kind of rallied all day. But this algorithm only had 2 trades, and we sold the 39.60 and also the 39.75, and both of those were 100% profitable because we closed above the strike, and so we made $311 on both of them. It just so happened that both of those collected about six points and a quarter, which is why they both were up the same amount. But so that's the 2nd of March. You can see day trade long didn't have any trades. You can see over here that the Emerald long also didn't have any trades on the 2nd or the 1st, and then the Momentum didn't have any trades either. So the first 2 days we had these 2 trades, and that was it. And you can see here that both of those options made $311, and that includes, or that takes into account commission. All right, so on the 3rd of March, that's the one that I just reviewed. So the futures algorithm that you saw, that one made about 1,681. And then option 1 did 316, option 2, 286, then 298. Option 4 and 5 collected more premium, 358, and then 311, 336, and 248 on option 8. And so when you add it all together, Noble was up a total of 2,283 plus 622. That's a total of $2,905, and on a $40,000 unit size, it's a gain of about 7.26%. So it's been a great start for March for Noble. Paladin is off to an even better start with the $60,000 unit sizes, and that's because of all the options that it traded yesterday. So it made 4,194 yesterday, and the day before 622, just like Noble did. So the total for the month is about 4,816, or about 8%. So it's been a great start to the month of March. I think that's really the main thing I wanted to cover, though. Just remember that this does involve substantial risk of loss. It's not for everyone. It should only be traded with risk capital. And we would love to answer any questions you might have. So go ahead and go to the website, fill out a form, give us a call, email either Rich or Brent, and we'd be happy to help you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.